Welcome to a very special 5 on 5. We're pleased to be joined by Democratic State Senator Alan Bates and Republican State Representative Sal Esquivel. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure. So tell us, we're going to start with a couple of questions regarding Measure 15115 to replace and expand Medford's 2 existing pools. Now, you're both in favor of this measure. Senator Bates, your thoughts?
I'm really strong in favor of this. It's sort of a statement about who we are, what our community is. Are we going to have some public access for people to swim and spend time with their family or not? And we've had these pools for years, and our forefathers put them together. It's time to replace them. I think we need to step up, pass the measure, and really have a place where families can go out and have a good time with their kids and swim. And we got some great summer weather here, and some of these kids, that's the only chance they'll have to do it. So I think it's a great project. I think the people behind it have done a good job of lining up the numbers and making it functional and make it work. And I'm looking forward to going swimming this summer.
Representative Esquivel, opponents to this expenditure cite the needs of a new police station or perhaps other governmental needs that this money could be used for. What is your response to those opponents?
Well, I think that's a different issue because right now we've mothballed basically and shut down Hawthorne Park. Now, the reason I am so much in favor of this is because when I was a child, believe it or not, Hawthorne was new. So I used to get a summer pass.
We actually believe that.
I used to get a summer pass, and I'd go to that pool every day. And I'll tell you what, that's where I learned how to swim. That's what I learned to do every summer, and I look forward to it for many, many years. And the thing is, if you don't have that, where do the kids learn how to swim? To see that the YMCA and they have to pay substantially for it, or they can get a summer pass and they can go into Hawthorne or Jackson and swim all they want and learn on their own, because the shallow end of it, that's exactly what I did. I'd hang around the shallow end until I could swim.
Mm-hmm. Well, gentlemen, I know I want to ask you about casinos. A lot of talk about that in the last couple of months. We're going to take a quick break first. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Democratic State Senator Alan Bates and Republican State Representative Sal Esquivel. Let's see, gentlemen, there has been a lot of news recently of the Coquel tribe purchasing land here in Medford to potentially convert it into a casino, along with the attempt for the Grange facility in the northern portion of the state, which has already drawn back their advertising campaign because of bad polling numbers, in their favor at least. Sal, what should the future of gaming look like in the state of Oregon?
I think we have to be very, very cautious here. If we allow expansion of the tribes, because the tribes had an agreement that every sovereign nation would have one casino and one casino only. Now we're expanding that, so we have to be very careful because we don't want to engage in a building of casino wars throughout the state of Oregon, which could conceivably happen if we're not careful. I think the one that was proposed up in the Portland area, south of Portland, I think that was done by people from not only out of state but out of country. I think they were from Canada. Mm-hmm. And I believe that the majority of people, I do not believe, will support that. And I think we have to be very cautious of what we do with casinos. Otherwise, we may end up like in Nevada or something of that nature. And I don't think I don't think we really want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Senator?
Agree a lot with what he said. The present system's actually served us pretty well in a lot of ways. I will put a caveat in, though. I think we should do one here in Medford one way or another. I think it's something that would be good for economic development. It would produce more jobs. I'd like to see us have a convention center, a real convention center here in Medford that would attract major groups to come down into Southern Oregon. I've had a couple of issues at times when we had a group where we talk about having a convention down here, and there's no convention hall big enough for them. And so they just don't consider us a place to go. They'd love to come here and do things here. We got the rides on the river, we've got great golf courses, we got Ashland, but there's nothing here for them. If you tied that to a convention center, I think I'd be okay, but you have to do it under existing law. And that might mean so much as closing a casino somewhere else and opening up one here. But I think it's something we should not turn our backs on. It's got to get past some legal hurdles. We don't want wars over this between the tribes. But I'm still in favor of some form of a casino here in town, as long as it's bringing in a major convention center.
Now, since we're both here, gentlemen, I want to ask you about the next legislative session. Representative Esquivel, what will be the priority for you as you head into the beginning of the new year?
I think there's many priorities that's going to hit us. I believe that the economy is still a big factor in everyone's mind. and to get an environment to where business can grow in the state of Oregon. We were just discussing beforehand about PERS. PERS is going to be a big issue, I believe, coming up, and I think we need to come to grips with that because I believe they raised the rates 43% this last time or something like that, and you cannot sustain that, so we have to come to grips with the problem and we have to work with it.
Mm-hmm. And Senator, your thoughts?
Jobs are number one again, of course, and in Southern Oregon, we're trying to work with Republicans and Democrats and the governor's office to try to open the woods up a little bit on an environmentally sound basis so the mills that are just starting to come back up again can be maintained. We got Murphy opening up, we've got Boise opening up another shift. We need to maintain that. And so the jobs are number one, and you've already spoken that, jobs being number one. Number two is getting a little more money back into K-12. That's where we should put our focus as far as revenue expenditures are concerned. You can't do that without talking about PERS. And PERS is a major issue now and always has been, and may get bigger before we're through. There's a lot of things we'd like to do that you probably can't do legally. There's things you can do, but we'll have to work with public employees and with Democrats and Republicans working together to come up with something that really work. I've been told, and I haven't seen the final numbers yet, that 25% of the budget for Medford, as an example, Medford Public Schools, is going to be going into PERS. That's unsustainable. I mean, you might get by with 14%, 16% at the most, but when you're up around 25%, I don't know how you continue having reasonable sized classrooms, taking care of the people there right now, the kids coming through, and maintaining a reasonable workforce. I just don't know how you do it when that much money is going out every year.
What's very sad about that is the fact that it will probably continue to climb in the future.
It possibly could.
Yeah.
Sounds like that'll be definitely something to see as January comes around.
We'll be talking about that in conjunction with K-12 funding.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.